Hello everyone. Today is Saturday morning. Following the video I made about the history of artificial intelligence, I'm now motivated to tell you people more about artificial intelligence. 2 years ago, I was walking down the street and I met one of my friends, and he asked me, now that you claim artificial intelligence has been here since early 1950s, 1940s, what is it that defines artificial intelligence? Now, my answer by then was too shallow, but today I want to tell you that artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science concerned with designing systems and machines that can perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. Now, these tasks may include things like learning, reasoning, problem solving, decision making, and understanding language, perception, and adapting to new situations. Now, artificial intelligence aims to create computer systems that can simulate aspects of human cognition and intelligently respond to their environment. Now, there are pioneers who pioneered the definition of artificial intelligence. John McCarthy, who coined the term artificial intelligence in early 1956, defined artificial intelligence as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. Now, this definition emphasizes both the theoretical and practical aspect of creating intelligent systems. Marvin Minsky also described artificial intelligence as the science of making machines do things that will require intelligence or if done by men, making machines to do things that will require intelligence if done by men. Now, the highlight of artificial intelligence goal of replacing intelligent human behavior through machines. Artificial intelligence has also the philosophical foundation that contributed to its development. Talking about the philosophical foundations that contributed to the artificial intelligence development, the development of artificial intelligence was heavily influenced by centuries of philosophical thoughts about knowledge, reasoning, about logic, and the nature of the mind. There was a philosopher called Aristotle in early 384 to 322 BC. Aristotle developed formal logic, which became a foundation of computational reasoning and expert systems. And this, in one of his quotes, the root of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. How did Aristotle contribute to artificial intelligence? He developed syllogistic logic. Aristotle introduced systematic reasoning. Aristotle inspired rule-based artificial intelligence system and logical inference engines. Another philosopher who contributed is called René Descartes in early 1596 and 1650s. Descartes believed that reasoning follows systematic rules and that complex rule could be broken down into simpler steps. Now, this is more like solving problem from the larger perspective, breaking that into the smaller domains. And one of the quotes Descartes made was cogito ergo sum, which means I think, therefore I am. How did he contributed to artificial intelligence? He promoted the idea that thinking can be understood through rules. He also influenced the concept that intelligence could potentially be mechanized. There's a philosopher called Thomas Hobbes. That one is in the early 1588 to early 1679. Hobbes proposed that reasoning is a form of computation, where he quoted, "Reasoning is nothing but reckoning." Hobbes contributed to artificial intelligence by suggesting that though could be represented as calculations. Hobbes also influenced the computational view of intelligence. In addition, there's another philosopher called Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz in the early 1646 and in the early 1716. Leibniz envisioned a universal symbolic language and a machine capable of reasoning, and he quoted, "Let us calculate." How did Leibniz contribute to artificial intelligence? He developed early mechanical calculators. He also proposed symbolic reasoning systems. He also inspired modern knowledge representation and automated reasoning. Now, David Hume, I know majority of us know about David Hume in the early 1711 and the 1776. Now, Hume argued that learning comes from experience and observation, and he quoted, "Reasoning is and ought only to be the slave of the passions." How did Hume contribute to artificial intelligence? He emphasized learning from experience. He also influenced machine learning and probabilistic reasoning. Probabilistic reasoning, later on we'll come to understand about things like Bayes' theorem. Those who are more into probability and statistics know about probabilistic reasoning based on possible outcomes. Now, Alan Turing, you know about the Turing machine. I also talked about the Turing test. Alan Turing in early 1912 and early 1954, although he was primarily a mathematician, Turing his work bridged philosophy and computer science, and he quoted, "We can only see a short distance ahead, but we can see plenty there that need to be done." How did Turing contribute to artificial intelligence? He proposed the famous Turing test. He also demonstrated that machines could manipulate symbols to perform intelligent tasks. He laid the theoretical foundation for modern computing and artificial intelligence. Now, what are the relationship between philosophy and artificial intelligence? Now, many core artificial intelligence concepts originated from philosophical questions. For example, among philosophical questions can be, what is intelligence? Now, this is equivalent to intelligent agents in artificial intelligence. Another philosophical question can be, how do humans reason? This is equivalent to knowledge representation in artificial intelligence. Another philosophical question is that, can machines think? This is equivalent to artificial intelligence. Now, another philosophical question is, how do we learn from experience? This is equivalent to machine learning. Another philosophical question is, how do we make decisions? This is equivalent to decision theory in artificial intelligence. Another philosophical question is, how is knowledge represented? Now, this is equivalent to expert systems and knowledge bases. In summary, artificial intelligence is the science of creating machines capable of performing tasks that require human intelligence. The foundation extends beyond computer science into philosophy, where thinkers such as Aristotle, René Descartes, Thomas Hobbes, Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, and David Hume explored logic, reasoning, learning, and knowledge. Their ideas provided the intellectual foundation upon which modern artificial intelligence systems and machine learning technologies are built. Among these, I'm going to take you about the goals of artificial intelligence and many more. Subscribe, follow for me to bring for you more. You come to understand more about artificial intelligence.